So when we talked the last time, let's see, it was you were just about to go to Purdue. I feel like it was the summer before,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Tell me about the last 4 years.
Purdue's been great. I loved every second of my time here, and I will be graduating, but I've been reflecting on the last 4 years a lot recently, and it's been incredible. I mean, my dad went here. I was able to join the same fraternity that my dad was in. I was able to work and find friends and really kind of find myself. I had a lot of trouble finding myself leaving Detroit and coming to Purdue because I didn't really know in this transition moment of my life. But it was really nice where I was able to just go meet friends. Nobody knew who I was. I was just a regular student. Just everyone came in with a clean slate, and that's really what I needed. So I found myself my first few years, and I've been executing that and really just growing into the person that I want to become.
Sounds like you're in a good place.
I would say so. And Purdue's a great place, but me in my own personal place, I'm in a great place. I'm really enjoying the person that I've become and the work that I've put in to be here. It's really cool to look back and see some of my accomplishments and a lot of my failures where I've learned.
It's got to be fulfilling too, because what struck me is when I talked to you the last time, which was the first time, was just how excited you were about Purdue, and to me, I'm happy for you that it feels like it's lived up to everything you wanted and more.
Yeah, I mean, coming from Detroit, everyone wants to be, a little Michigan or Michigan State guy, or if they want to go out a little west, they want to go to Grand Valley. But I've always wanted to go to Purdue, and my dad went here. Family friends have gone here. I knew a lot of people that have been around here, been trying to be a Boilermaker my entire life. So that excitement wasn't just the tip of the iceberg. That was my entire last 4 years of I'm just excited. And I love this place, and I had the opportunity to love it even more. After my freshman year, I was awarded the Tyler Trent Courage and Resilience Award, which is a huge honor. Tyler was a former student who lost a battle with cancer, and he was an honorary captain of the football team, and ESPN was in town when we beat Ohio State. So I've had to walk around with Tyler's legacy, which has been an honor. It's been a huge honor to do that, but it's also been a lot of pressure. And I think that pressure in living up to his name, living up to Dr. Cynthia Ray's name, who passed away in the original accident, is something that makes me a better person every single day. Grateful that I was blessed with the opportunity to come here after everything that happened. And it wasn't my plan, and this wasn't the route that, if you would ask me 7 years ago or 8 years ago, what's your 7 or 8 year plan, I probably wouldn't say this exact plan, but you roll with the punches and you get to the place that you need to be no matter what path you take.
Speaking of that, how are you health-wise? How does everything feel, and as you're now 7 years after the accident?
6.
6.
Yeah. Health-wise, I'm in the best shape of my life. I have worked out a lot more. Last year, I ran my first 5K since losing my leg, and I wanted to run under 30 minutes, and I was at 29:30. So nice. I set my goal, and I achieved my goal. Had a few surgeries. I had an ACL surgery 3 years ago that was a complication from the accident that I couldn't get addressed because my femur was also messed up. Yeah. But everything's done. I have knock on wood, I have no surgeries in the near future, and I'm stronger than ever. I'm getting used to using, because I have 3 different prosthetic legs, really getting used to using the different legs, and I'm also being a lot more honest with myself. I would say a few years ago I thought I was Superman. I still think I'm strong, but I know how to look myself in the mirror and be like, all right, today's a rest day, or you got to be help, or you got to ask for some help. So I know there's honor in asking for help instead of weakness, and it took me a few years to figure that out.
Yeah, it's real mature to come to that, but that doesn't mean you haven't set goals and challenges while you've been here either, correct? And you've overcome those.
Yeah, my daily goal is to impress somebody, whether it's just me walking on campus, they're looking at me and they're like, wow, that guy's walking better than I am, or running up the stairs in class, or walking past somebody. My goal is to impress somebody, and not for my own personal goal, but to try and change the stigma behind somebody with a disability. I feel like there's a negative outlook, or this person can't do something. I'm going to show them all the things I can do, and let them decide if they think that they're stronger than me, or they're better than me, or if they should be looking down on me or anyone like me. So if somebody offers to open the door, I'll gladly take that. I'm not going to say, no, I have to do it my way.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to impress people with my physical ability, because it may look limiting, but realistically it's not.
Yeah. And when someone asks you about it, or maybe they look and you can see them looking, and they might not want to, do you open that door for them and say, hey, yeah, you want to talk about this? This is what happened, or how does that conversation go?
The conversation goes many different ways. I never slam the door on somebody. If they're curious, I love curiosity, and if I can explain a story with my life, then I hope they feel more comfortable in asking other people. I also let people know that I'm very comfortable in talking about it. There are a lot of people that aren't.
Yeah.
So just boundaries about, hey, you can ask me and we can have a great conversation, but if you ask somebody else, they might get offended, they might not be willing to talk about it. So I can talk about it, but I love laughing. I love making people laugh. I love making myself laugh, and I have this unique opportunity where people come up and they ask, what happened to your leg? And I can go any direction. I've said shark bites, I've said didn't eat my vegetables, I've said every story under the sun, just to get them to laugh about it, and then when they start laughing, then I can tell them the story. But yeah, I love curiosity. I love explaining what happened. I'm not shy about it, and if I was shy, I'd be wearing long pants every day.
Yeah, yeah. Thinking back on it, do you think about it all the time? Are you in a good place when you remember it?
Yeah, I'm in a very good place when I remember it, actually. Looking back, it was a difficult time in my life, but every day moving past that very difficult day is a good day.
Yeah.
I mean, you got two perspectives. You could look at it and say I'm having a bad day because I've had better days, but it's pretty hard for me to have worse days than I've had in the past. So every day under the sun is just going to be a better day. And it took a few years to come to that. In the beginning, I did say that every day is a good day and I'm happy. Probably wasn't 100% happy. It was more to try and convince myself that I was happy, but I'm genuinely happy. And even looking back, I feel comfortable. I feel comfortable talking with people. Lifelong dream of mine is to share my story on a wider audience and public speak and become a motivational speaker and maybe help people that are going through something similar, or just help somebody that wants to learn.
Yeah.
And I want to be a teacher for that.
So tell me about some of the jobs you've had, which when I heard these, I'm like, well, there's a challenge, which you obviously probably enjoy taking on challenges, but some of the jobs you've had since you've been here at Purdue.
Yeah, so I've worked my entire life. I turned 12, I started umpiring. I turned 16, I started working at a restaurant, and I've worked my entire life. I love working. It's a hobby of mine. I like spending money that I make instead of spending money that isn't my money.
Yeah.
I don't accept money from other people. My parents are always like, here's $100, like here's some gas money if you come up and see you, but I will spend my money a lot smarter if it's my money that I earn. Mm-hmm. That being said, being a college student, I have to get a job. I have to work. So I closed my mind and I was like, what's a job that you wouldn't imagine somebody with a disability doing? And the job was a bouncer at a bar. Because you think of a bouncer, you think of the former offensive lineman or the former wrestler from high school, a big burly dude that can protect. And I can still protect, and I think I'm tall enough, I'm a physical stature that can be respected from other people instead of challenged. But yeah, I was like, I'm gonna be a bouncer at a bar. I had no intentions to do anything really with it, but I figured that's my way to impress somebody every day is when I work is to turn some heads. So I started as a bouncer during COVID, worked up to a bartender. I bartended for about a year, and then I worked up into a manager role where I was like the day manager, where I would help with scheduling, and they gave me the keys to the place, and I would do the whole spreadsheets and all that stuff. And then I'm done being a manager because I had a pretty busy semester. And now I'm just a regular bartender again. So it's definitely a job that not many people consider somebody with a disability being able to do, but that's my goal in life, is to turn some heads.
Right, I think you did. Any close calls, any encounters as a bouncer that played out?
There are a few. Actually, I will say not many people will try and give problems to the guy with one leg. And I didn't use it, but if they're giving it to me, I'm going to take it. I'm not going to demand respect from people. If they don't respect me enough to treat me the same as everyone else, and I'm going to benefit off of it, then I'm not going to try and change their mind. So there were a few people that would get mad and kind of look down and would be like, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I'll leave." But when you picture a bouncer at a bar, you think of the guy carrying the guy out or a fight starting. That doesn't really happen too much here. A lot of people are smart enough to understand, and if you come up with respect as a bouncer or a security or someone that works at a job and you say, "I'm going to ask you to leave," instead of like cursing at the person or being upset with the person, that's just not the correct way to go. So if you can mitigate the situation with your words before it gets bad and you need backup, then that's good. But there have been a few times where they weren't really receptive to the nice, and you still have a duty to protect the customers. And if you're legally at the point of intoxication where you can't be at a bar anymore, it is our job to remove you.
Yeah. Well, we can learn a lot from the movie Roadhouse. I mean, he was a philosopher at heart. That also opens the door for lots of jokes. When somebody said, "Hey, you know how I lost this? It was a guy much bigger than you." Something like, "All right, I'll get out of here."
There's actually been plenty of jokes there. So we have a shot called a shark bite. It's just, it's blue. It's a blue shot, and it's got grenadine in it, so it looks like almost blood in the water, like a shark bite. So a lot of people are like, "Hey, can I get a shark bite?" And I'm like, "You guys know that was actually named after me?" They're like, "No way."
That would freak me out if you said that to me.
Yeah, exactly.
If I didn't know.
These 21-year-olds had a little bit of shark bites before, so they're easily convincible. And they're like, "What's the story?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm from Detroit. I was this really good surfer off of Lake Michigan." Just like full fabricated story. And at some point, they call my bluff because I'm just going with lies that they're like, "All right, that's too much. What's the real story?" And then I tell them the real story. So I do make those jokes all the time. Actually, my prosthetic leg is my bottle opener. I have
on the side there.
There's a screw on the if you can see like the scrapes right here.
Oh, that's where you've been opening the bottle.
So if you order a Corona from me, I open it right there.
Nice.
So I never lose my bottle opener.
Well, it's one of the joys in life right there for sure. But you still have the blade that when you run, that's one of them?
Yeah, so I play basketball a lot. That's what I do 2 to 3 times a week. That's where I get my cardio, and that's where I get my leg strength. Running's great, but doing distances that I enjoy doing is pretty hard to do with the blade. The blade is mainly for quick turnover sprints. Yeah. If you look at the Paralympics, the longest race that they run in the Paralympics is 1,000 meters. So they don't even run more than a mile. And I was more of a miler to a 3-miler when I would run. So I found, and I loved playing basketball before. U of D was a great basketball school, so I wasn't good enough to be on the team, but I was still good enough to play a little bit of ball at lunch. But that's something that I like to turn heads at.
What's the biggest challenge playing basketball now? I mean, other than the obvious.
The obvious is moving around, but it takes a few games to earn respect. A lot of people will play me. I always make the joke is a lot of people will treat me as the Make-A-Wish kid. Like I didn't earn my spot. Yeah. And I not only do I earn my spot, I demand it after the game. They shake hands, they look me in the eyes. They're like, "You're better than I expected." I was like, "That's your fault for not giving me the benefit of the doubt." Because I will go and I will bust anyone's ass on that court. And that's me being competitive in nature. It's a little confident, it's a little cocky, but that's how I like to play, is I'm going to go and prove you wrong. And if I don't, then I'm going to shake your hand and say you're the better player. But that's where I love to thrive, because you see someone walking with a prosthetic leg. Okay, if you get crossed up by somebody with a prosthetic leg, or out locked up on defense, or out hustled for a rebound, you're really going to start respecting that person. And I don't do it for respect, I do it because it's a hobby of mine. But basketball is my way to vent, and sometimes people catch me on a good day but sometimes I just want to be competitive, and I don't want them to look at me as somebody with a disability. I want them to look at the guy that's playing point guard right now, or the guy that's dribbling the ball.
Easy way to impress 9 other guys like that. And now talk about challenges as we talk about the new job a little bit. People talk about, they describe, when you go become an MMJ, they call it being a one-man band. I've known, of course, it's our business, I've known so many people who, they're like, I hate it, you got to lug all your own equipment, I'm not going to do it, I'm tired of doing this. And here you are, the next challenge.
Next challenge, it's the next one up. I love challenges, and anything I can do to challenge myself, challenge other people around me to be better, I will do. And being a news reporter, after having so many relationships with news reporters and MMJs and anchors and sports, I've learned to love the business, but I've learned to love storytelling. And if you guys take the time to tell a story about me, then that inspires me to take the time to tell the story about other people. And I hope, being an MMJ, I will get somebody that is recovering from cancer, or somebody that's recovering from their own battles, whether it's personal, family, physical, mental, whatever it is. I think I can get to them a little bit and gain their trust. That's the main part in media, is you got to have people trust you. And I hope, being somebody with the background that I have, I've sat on the other side. I can actually say it instead of like, oh yeah, I've been where you've been before. A lot of people say that, and it's just words that come out of their mouth.
Yeah.
I can genuinely say, I've been where you've been before, and that's why I want to get this story correct, and that's why I want to tell this story. So that's why I chose that. I didn't know I wanted to do it until y'all throw a few cameras in my face a few years ago, and I ended up liking it. I didn't get nervous. It felt,
you're a natural.
Felt entertaining. So,
do you worry at all about lugging the gear around, the equipment?
yeah, I mean, if I can bartend for 8 hours and move around pretty quickly, and sometimes slick environments when it's ice falls on the ground or pens fall on the ground, if I can survive that, I think I can. I play 2 hours of basketball. I can lug a camera around. Knock on wood. I've seen some of the cameras you guys are lugging around. You guys are definitely getting your workouts in.